This is England. KB Terrace talking. Push. Let's have it. Back 66 when the world was won. Bobby Moore lifted number one. Shaw and Banks were the generation. Heroes of the English nation. Years went by but we stayed true. Following England the whole world through. Every pub and every town. Never let the three lions down. Raise your scarf into the sky. Hear a million voices cry. England.
Good evening and welcome to our latest instalment of the World Cup watch-alongs. I'm your host, DJ or David Besley. I've been called DJ Bez before, so DJ Bez will say tonight. And tonight, what a treat we have for you. It is Ivory Coast versus Ecuador. As you can see, we've got the teams lined. I've got the teams to my right hand side, and I've just got the game on here on the good old BBC, as we've just done the Ecuadorian national anthem, I believe. A few comments already. Dusty Miller, good evening, Dusty. How are you? Yes, blood old shows. Yes, I hope you are. We are trying to get as many shows as possible. Obviously, we are going to miss the odd one. But we are going to try and get as many shows, like I said, as possible. When is Bushy on? I don't know, actually. We've kind of got like a schedule, like a spreadsheet, and it went out to the guys, and everyone's kind of been saying, oh, I'll take this game, I'll take that game, and what have you. And I think Bushy's going to do ones where other people can't do it. So, like, for example, if, I don't know, this game, there were no one to do it, then he might have stepped in and done it. I'm not too sure. I know he's not going to be doing the middle of the night games, let's say, because he'll probably want to sleep. But yeah, I think if it's a game and it's like 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, and no one else is doing it, I think you'll probably find that Bushy does it. Now, I don't know what you think to the setup. Like, I mean, we have got a few people watching already, so welcome everyone. Welcome to KV Terry's Talk. I hope you're enjoying the World Cup. I'm certainly positive that I am, and I always look forward to this time of year personally, even though England do always let us down, let's face it. But yeah, another game. As I said, it's Ivory Coast and Ecuador. And again, let's quickly go through the sides, as I was kind of mentioning earlier. There's quite a lot, actually, of known players for both sides. We'll start with Ivory Coast. So they've got Yahia Fofana in goal, Gwele Doué, Emmanuel Agbadoi, Gislan Konax, Wilfred Singo, Yandi Amande. Now, Yandi Amande is a bit of a wonder kid from RB Leipzig. I think he's only 17, 18. They've got Fred Kessie, who is like a long-term, kind of a very strong box-to-box midfielder who at the minute is playing in the Saudi League, I believe. You've then got Bazumane Toure, Seko Fofana, Nicolas Pepe, the ex-Arsenal player, and Eli Wahi. That's your Ecuador, Ivory Coast starting lineup. Ecuador, we have in goal Hernan Galindez. You've got William Pacho, who is the PSG centre-half, who, congratulations to PSG winning the Champions League. Next to him, you've got Piero Hincapié, another fantastic centre-back. Joel Ordonez, Pedro Veit, Alan Franco, Alan Minder, Moises Caicedo, again, Chelsea midfielder, Enner Valencia, Gonzalo Plata, and John Yeboah. And again, there's a few players on there who people should recognise. William Pacho, Pierre Hincapié, Moises Caicedo, and I'm sure there's more on there as well. Now, I'm just going to share, just bear with me 1 minute while I share this to our Twitter. Hopefully we can get as many people watching as possible. I've got my headphones on today as well. I'm hoping, that doesn't put people off. I don't know why it would do, but You never know. And I just need to check this. So I just wanted to make sure that we had got sound coming through, because when you're on your own, you don't actually know if your mic's working or not. Now, we have changed something to the streams. We normally go live on YouTube, Twitter, or X, it's called now, and Facebook. We've been having some issues with copyright on Facebook, so we've decided going forward, we're just gonna kind of use YouTube and Twitter or X. When we get back to the the Rotherham stuff, the Premier League stuff, the general podcasts, then we will go back to putting them on Facebook again. I think we've got like 3 almost warnings in a row for the last 3 videos, and we're not really sure why. We don't know if it's the intro, we don't know if it's what FIFA are saying, we don't know if it's because they're referencing a live game. I don't know. But here we go. We are about to start. As I said, I'd say it's one of the better or more interesting games of the opening group stages. We kick off, and the ball is played back to the Ecuadorian, I think, keeper, who knocks it long, and Ecuador pick up the ball in midfield. Ivory Coast are in your all orange, I believe. Just traditional kit, I think, for them. Ecuador are in, I believe, their away kit, actually, which is like a dark blue and white shorts. I think normally they're playing yellow, Ecuador. Quite a nice kit, actually. I was trying to get like, obviously I've got the setup here, and you've got the team lineups, you've got the score there at the bottom left-hand side. I was wanting to try and get a live score, so it updates automatically. You've got the timer in there, but I just kind of run out of time. I'm actually not working this week. I've booked the week off so I can watch as many World Cup games as possible. So I think tomorrow I'm going to try and get this set up even more professional. I mean, I think this is quite professional, but I'm going to try and get it even more professional if I can. We've got 50 odd of you watching already, which, to be fair, 12 o'clock on a Sunday night stroke Monday morning is really good. Excellent. So again, thank you for tuning in to listen to my dulcet tones. I hope that I don't scare you off or anything like that. I've got on screen now, I've got the Ecuadorian head coach, who I've never heard of, Sebastian Becatke, I think his name were. As Ecuador have the ball currently. We've got commentator from Johnny Talks. All right, Johnny, how you doing, sir? Actually, I didn't see you on. We were live yesterday. We did the Brazil-Morocco game, and not sure if you're watching, but I didn't see you in the comments. Yes, seeing that on TikTok, brushing around the whole of Scotland up. Yeah, it did. Do you know what? I'm gonna give my kind of 2 pennies for it, actually, because I actually do disagree with Willie. I agree that teams like Scotland and Haiti, they are probably going to when they turn up to these kind of World Cup or Euros, whatever it might be, they probably are going to take some hammerings. Example, today, obviously, we've seen Curacao pretty much get dominated by Germany. I mean, I know Curacao scored to make it 1-1, but it could have been 4 or 5 up before they scored. Now, it's interesting because the way I see it is, we're lucky that we support a nation who, they've not been close to winning it really, but we do support a nation who has a chance of winning it. You look at the players that they've had. We've currently got one of the best strikers in the world, in Harry Kane. If you go for our side, our squad, it is one of the strongest squads at the tournament. We've even left a lot of world-class players at home, called Palmer, Phil Foden, etc. So, we go into these tournaments with hope. And I say that loosely because, obviously, England, they do tend to fall short at World Cups. And it's not to do with quality. It's normally to do with, losing their heads, let's say. Typically Wayne Rooney, England's best player, one of England's best ever players, losing his head against Portugal. Obviously, you could tell straight away that Cristiano Ronaldo, he instructed, if you like, or he gave the message to the Portugal coach, get this guy wound up and he'll get sent off. And that's the issue with England. Easy to wind up. Again, David Beckham, England put in a fantastic performance against Argentina to draw 2-2. And let's face it, they're extremely unlucky with the disallowed goal, which is that a foul on the goalkeeper? I think it's not. But, they are normally given, aren't they? But yeah, that was I think if Beckham had stayed on the pitch, we'd have probably won that game. So again, it's not to do with quality. It's more to do with, I guess, mentality. England's mentality has always been quite weak. But back to the original point, England have always had a chance. Scotland, and I was thinking about this with Haiti actually, and even Curacao. They scored a goal. They got hammered 7-1, but they scored a goal. And the commentator said something along the lines of, Curacao, remember that moment for Leve. And it is a little bit sad. They've just scored one goal and they're figuring themselves up. Now, I do agree with Lee in the fact that, some of these games are watered down. There are a couple of games we've had so far where there are two poor sides. And I mean, the Scotland game, look, we're interested in the Scotland game because Scotland's one of our nations. So we have a little bit more interest. But if you live in like Portugal or Spain or France, you're watching that game thinking, what the hell's this? I'm not stopping up at 2:00 in the morning to watch this tribe. But on the flip side, you do get to see more games. Yeah, that's a fact. Like, the thing with the World Cup is I always find that it's over really quickly. You get for that first week and 3 weeks later and it's done. Whereas this is going to last a bit longer. So I think that's a positive. And look, let's face it, Scotland and Haiti, these teams are never going to get to a World Cup without this introduction. And I think it is probably good for their country. I mean, if England can somehow win a World Cup, it does do wonders for your country. So, these clubs getting to a World Cup, I'm sure it does wonders for them. I mean, that's just my that's just my opinion, Johnny. I'm just trying to say, you've got to, I'm a Rotherham fan. Rotherham United in my lifetime will never ever get into the Champions League, but I'd love to be able to watch my team in Europe. I would love it. And I don't care if Rotherham went to Europe and, they were playing Bayern Munich and getting hammered 6-0 and Barcelona, because I'd love to watch my team in Europe. Obviously, every year I don't want to do that, but, just to see him in Europe, I just like it. And I think that's the kind of positive side of it. But again, I know I've got Lee. Hi, Lee. All right, Lee. I know we've got Lee in the chat. And I do see it from his point of view as well. I'm just trying to kind of weigh up the pros and cons. And Johnny, I think Rush was right first. And that's fine. Even though he got a lot of stick for it from Scotland fans, I think he did get a lot of people agreeing with him as well. I do find, though, that the England fans who have agreed with Lee, I think they'll probably agree just to wind Scotland up a little bit. Obviously, there is that kind of big rivalry. See, I don't see it. Like, I don't want to sound big-headed, but I look at England, and obviously Scotland aren't really a patch on England in terms of the quality of players, and they've never been successful. I mean, I think I'd go as far as saying Scotland out of the nations, possibly Northern Ireland, but Scotland are probably if you like, they've had the worst run or worst qualification in the whole of the United Nations for the last 30 years. I've seen Northern Ireland get to a Euros, seen Wales get to a Euros, and even get to semi-finals. Republic of Ireland used to get there pretty much every World Cup and every Euros at one point. And now Scotland I think they did qualify in 94, if I remember correctly. I was only a young lad then, but they did qualify then, to be fair. Anyway, we'll concentrate on the game a little bit. I'll just read some of Lee's comments. Evening, Vez, I'll watch till I fall asleep. Yeah. Evening, Lee. Hope you're all right. Just Lee, actually, while you're in the comments, I have had a question from Dusty Miller. When are you going to do one of these? Because I think you've got a lot of fans who are paying for your blood, let's say, and they want you to come on. In fact, Dusty's there now. Yes, Bush, that's a legend. You're getting big time now, bro. Yeah. So again, it was Dusty who was asking when you're going to be on, Lee. So if you can just let him know. I think Lee might be doing the England game, actually, Dusty. I think when the England game's on, he might be doing that one, but correct me if I'm wrong. And then Lee again. Scotland are a painless entry, let's be honest. Yeah, this is the thing, though. I half agree because Scotland will not win the World Cup. Of course they won't. But having said that, I reckon there are only maybe 6 or 7 teams who can realistically win the World Cup. And so if you're saying that about Scotland, then surely you've got to say it about Ivory Coast or Ecuador. But, these clubs, especially Ivory Coast, they qualify for a lot of the World Cups. I think since 2010, they've qualified for almost every World Cup. So you're saying they're pointless as well? Because I wouldn't. Just have a World Cup, because surely you can't see Ivory Coast or Ecuador winning it. I don't see that anyway. Obviously, Kingbrush there, pointless. Dusty, yes, I read that one. Rate chuffed. Evening, Bez, just here to wish you a good watch along. I hope it's a good game. Yeah, cheers, Dan, mate. Shame you can't stay on for a little bit. Obviously, I'm not working tomorrow, so obviously I can stay on. Kingbush again. I'll go on tomorrow 9-1 England game. Yeah, there you go. Dusty. Lee will be covering the England game, which I think is on Wednesday. Also, some Rotherham news coming tomorrow. So, Lee, again, confirm we have got some news tomorrow. I don't know if that means we'll do a podcast. We are trying to get podcasts in, but it is quite difficult to fit them in when we're trying to do, if you like, as many of these World Cup games as we can. As the ball's always slipped, and it's a chance for Ecuador. He's turned. Oh, he's put it over. Wow, it was a ball into the box. The defender, the Ivory Coast defender, just slipped over. I don't think he was expecting it, and his first touch weren't the best, but he managed to get a shot away. Yeah, he turns. Yeah, he just never looked in control of the ball. Here's one. I mean, when they're showing the replays, they are showing you standard replays, and they're also showing it from like a referee's view. What do you guys think of that? Is that something you enjoy, or is it something that you don't really like? I mean, I actually quite enjoy it because it's like you're on the pitch, to be fair. But yeah, just back to Rotherham quickly. Also from Rotherham news coming. So yeah, look out for that tomorrow. I prefer the best of the best getting rid of the whipping boys. Yeah, and that's fair enough. But what I would say, Lee, if that's what you want, you're probably only taking 16 clubs, and then the World Cup goes from 4 weeks down to 2 weeks. I mean, Germany game was the first. Yeah, it wasn't the best, obviously, 7-1. But it's the only game what has been in hammering so far. Obviously, we probably will see some more. Yeah, too easy. Good numbers watching this time. Yeah, we have actually, Lee. 80 views, which I have to say, for this time of night, and I'm on my own, I think that's really good. So again, everyone who's watching, really, really thankful that you're here. And I would like to say, actually, like me, I'm obviously not in. I'm in the office tomorrow. Is any of you guys not working? Have you got the day off? I mean, when I told my boss that I was booking a week off just to watch the World Cup, he said that he's had it before with another employee where when a World Cup came on, he would literally book the 2 weeks off and just sit at home watching World Cup. So I think it's probably more common than you think. I've actually never done it. This is the first time I've done it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the games. And I guess with the time is not being great, in order to watch the game, you probably do need to put some time off. I think I won't recommend, watching this game 12 till 2, and then you've got another game later at 3 o'clock, and then going to sleep at 5. I probably won't recommend that. Then obviously getting up for work an hour or two later, that'd be quite mad. Anyway, 12 minutes have gone in the game. Ivory Coast 0, Ecuador 0. Not a lot has happened. I'd say Ecuador are controlling the midfield, they're controlling the game. Again, they've got £100 million player in another parking, Moises Caicedo, and he's obviously that's his job. He's worth 100 million. He should be controlling the games. Ecuador come forward here. It's a good effort, and it's just over. Another chance or half chance for Ecuador. Yeboah, it's there with the shot. John Yeboah, and if that's any relation to Tony Yeboah. After find, I wonder if our Leeds fans in the chat, if they know if that's in relation to Tony Yeboah. I know Tony Yeboah, I don't think he was Ecuadorian, to be honest. I'll just check now. What was Tony Ghanaian. He was Ghanaian. I mean, yeah, Ecuador decent. Yes, Sam, they are a good side. You look at their team, and they've got a flight like 30 years ago, you'd watch a World Cup, and a lot of these South African sides, you'd literally have you might recognise one, maybe two players, and that'd be it. But at the minute, they've got like I said, they've got £120 million man in their midfield. So one of the most expensive players in the world. They've got the two defenders, William Pacho and Hincape, superb defenders. So yeah, I completely agree, Sam. A really good side. Tell you was a baller. He was. I mean, the thing with Yeboah, though, obviously he's obviously remembered, and League was on say with Ghana, and yeah, she was. The thing with Yeboah, obviously you remember him for his goals where he volleyed it in and hit the other side of the crossbar and went in. But I feel that his stay at Leeds were very short. Like, it did seem really, really short. Like, you remember of those two goals, but that's pretty much it. Again, I'd love Leeds fans in the comments to kind of, let me know what their thoughts of Yeboah were. Did they agree? Did they feel that his time was short-lived? I mean, look, he could have been there for 2-3 years for all I know. It just seemed short to me. But what I will do, I'm going to check if that Yeboah is his son. Let's have a look. Tony Yeboah is 60 years old as well. Incredible. Now, according to there's nothing on Wikipedia suggests that it is his son. He has got 2 children though, apparently. I don't know what they're called, so we'll assume it's not. We'll assume it's just the same name. Anyway, the views are going up. We're up to nearly 100 now. So again, fantastic, and I do appreciate everyone joining. And look, as I said, make sure you are subscribed. It's free. You don't have to pay. And if you subscribe, it does mean you get a notification when we go live. And like I said, we are doing probably 90% of games. I think so far we've missed one, which was the one this morning, the Australia victory. We didn't have anyone in for that one. And we are going to probably miss the Sweden game, which is at 3:00 in the morning. Well, in a few hours' time. So yeah, make sure you do, because sometimes it is good to have, if you like, our podcast on the background, and it's a half a chance there for Ivory Coast, and kind of the ball got played out wide to the left hand side, and it seems to be like a cross come shot. Now they are shouting for a corner. We'll just see what happened here. So the ball was played out wide, and like he side foots it. Yeah, he side foots it. It doesn't take a deflection. The keeper saves it. Wow, brilliant save. It looks like it's going in, and the keeper tips it around the post. That's actually a brilliant save. Now that should be a corner. Now, obviously, as per yesterday, our friend Luke, he obviously said that they could reverse the decisions if they got it wrong. There's just quickly a long ball in Ecuador, and it's half a chance. He's still got the ball. Can he beat his man? No, it's well defended. Well defended. Just a long goal kick, and it looked like the kid was through, but the defender recovered really well, to be fair. But as I was saying, Luke was telling us that the corner can kind of be reversed if a decision is given. It can be reversed and go the other way, but it wasn't then. And I suppose this is the issue with these rules and these new rules. You don't mind if these rules are in play, but they just need to be consistent. There's a chance again, and I have to say, there's chances of both ends at the minute. It's quite an open game. It was Ivory Coast this time with the chance. Eli Wahi, again, a bit of a young striker, a bit of an old wonder kid on FM if you ever played FM. But we've had a couple of chances for each side, and it's still 0-0. It does look like there will be goals in this game. We just got up to the 80th minute mark, and it is still 0-0. Now, this lad on the ball, as I said when I did the lineup, Diamande, he's beating his man. It's a decent ball in as well, but well defended, and Ivory Coast are now getting on top. As I was saying, Yan Diamande, he was someone who I think RB Lives it picked up at like a really young age, like 15. And he's already first teamer for Red Bull Leipzig. He's now 70, to be fair. He's been there a couple of years. But yeah, he's a little bit of a wonder kid. This is actually the first time I've seen him live. So I'm intrigued to see what it's like, because Nicolas Pepe's walking across to take this corner for the Ivory Coast. He's slowly getting across there. Have to see what happens with this corner. As he puts his arms in the air, and in comes the cross, and it's headed away quite comfortably by the Ecuadorian defence. And the referees stopped play because there's an Ecuadorian play down in the box. I'm not really sure what happened there. Samuel, tell me about from Ghana. Yeah, that's right, Sam. He was from Ghana. I don't know how many caps he played for Ghana. Looks like 59 caps, 29 goals. I'm just looking at his career, and this is what I mean. He's a Leeds legend, but he was only there for 2 seasons. He scored 24 goals in 47 games for Leeds United, which, to be fair, that is pretty good. I wonder why Leeds sold him then. Again, if the Leeds side could come on and clear that up, they sold him to Hamburger SV, in the Bundesliga, and his record wasn't as good there, interestingly. Just interesting. Like I say, he didn't seem to play a lot for Leeds. Legends at clubs generally are there for 4 or 5 years minimum. And obviously Yavoah wasn't. He was, like I said, he was just renowned for his 2 goals, or not just 2 goals, but he scored a lot of, if you like, world-class goals, let's say. As Ivory Coast hold the ball, so they've got a little bit of possession now. Controlling the play quite well. Ecuadorian defence looks to be shaping up quite well as well, like a back 4. Back 8, it looks like a 4, 2 blocks of 4. It's actually, perfectly in sync with each other, which is how a defence should be. It's a shame Amshaw's not taking note of this, to be fair. We are up to 100 views now. 100 viewers. It's just gone back down. We'd get to 100 again. I really appreciate you joining at this late stage. And anyone got any thoughts on the game? Is there any particular play you're looking forward to seeing? Because another thing with the World Cup is, if you're not, if you're in England and you don't really follow European football at all, this might be the only chance you get to watch some of these players. So is there any player where you personally have thought, Joe, I can't wait to watch him at the World Cup? Just interested. As Yandy Monday gets the byline again, great plays. He looks class, and they won the ball back of Ivory Coast. Ball on the right hand side. Thought it was going to cross it in there, but not. Hold the ball, and Ecuador nick the ball back, and that looks like a foul to me. The referee has given it. I don't know why he fouled him then, actually, because the Ivory Coast had got Ecuador penned in then, and then he just fouls this player, and it's like a get out clause for the Ecuadorian player. So Lee is Kingbush is reply. He fell out with George Graham. The manager questioned his fitness and turned it shot for free for training was sold. Okay, interesting. Again, I didn't really know that. I mean, I do remember, and I assume because where you live as well, Lee, and I know I think you've got a few Forest fans, but is it similar to what happened to with Pierre van Hooijdonk? I mean, I still can't get over that, what he did. Pierre van Hooijdonk won promotion for Forest by scoring a hatful of goals in what is now the equivalent of the Championship. And if he'd just got his head down, scored goals with Forest, I don't think they'd have gone down, and he'd probably got his move anyway. And he literally ruined his career, and he also kind of ruined Forest's chance to stop it, because I believe they went straight back down. And I just sometimes, obviously, you can't necessarily blame the player. Sometimes you do get bad advice. You've got these agents who, as Ecuador hit the ball here, and it's a half a chance. It's a great effort to the crossbar, and Ecuador hit the crossbar from 15 yards out. They've still got the attack going. Played out wide to the left-hand side, just at the edge of the box. What are they going to do here? In Cafe with the ball. Back into midfield. As Ecuador looked, and it's well defended. He's turned his van. He's going to get a shot away. He has done, and the shot from the Ecuador play is wide of goal. Again, more pressure for Ecuador. I think it's been quite a decent game so far. Just, a shame there's not been a goal as Minde there with the effort for Ecuador. So yeah, as I was saying, these players sometimes do get bad advice from their agent, family members, as we are now on a hydration break as well. Obviously, every 22.5 minutes, give or take, we're having those. And let's face it, an agent is wanting to sell his player because he will get some sort of fee for that for the player going, maybe 10% of the transfer fee. I don't know how it works, but I know they do get some sort of fee. So we're on a hydration break. The Ecuadorian players are talking, or a couple of them are talking to the referee. Not really sure why. I don't think there's been a bad decision or anything in the game, as we're getting advertised that it is Sweden v Tunisia in Group F this at 3 o'clock, and then tomorrow at 5 p.m. so Monday is Spain versus Cape Verde, and I believe if Lee's still on, that'll probably be a game where it could be 6-7-0 to Spain, but we'll have to see. Just showing some highlights of Ecuador hitting the ball there, and a couple more chances from Ecuador. I'd say Ecuador probably edged it. I think they started well. First 10 minutes, they were all over Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast got back into the game, and at last few minutes, Ecuador have kind of got back on top, is what I'd say. Have they done enough to deserve to winning? I think possibly, yeah. I mean, a lot of the shots have been long range. They have had that one chance in the box where the Ivory Coast centre off fell over. But apart from that, a lot of the shots have been outside the area. There's some final instructions there from the Ecuador manager. And you can see in the crowd, the Ecuadorian, their home kit being yellow. So a lot of yellow shirts in the crowd, which is what you expect. That obviously, I'll just tell the last game quickly. Holland 2, Japan 2. Great game of football, could have gone either way. My lad, for some reason, he loves Japan. I don't know if that's a bit of a Mickey take or what, but he loves Japan. So when he wakes up tomorrow morning and he's realised that Japan have got a draw against one of the bigger nations, or one of the best nations, let's say, because in terms of size, it's not that big, he'll be pleased. Not sure what the why he's got the fixation on Japan, no idea, but at the minute that's his favourite team or favourite nation, and that's who he's supporting in the World Cup. So 26 minutes in, the hydration break is over now, or the players are just walking back onto the pitch. It's decent ground. It's a very strange looking ground. It's roof on, I think, one of the stands, and the other two stands, or the three stands, sorry, don't seem to have a roof on, and they do look quite steep. And the middle, the kind of second, or the middle part of the stadium doesn't look too full. I don't know if they've not sold all the tickets. As we have now gone over 100 or 102. So again, anyone who's in it, that's absolutely brilliant at 12:30 night. Absolutely brilliant. I really appreciate you watching. Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Not getting a lot of comments through at the minute, so if you could let us know what you're thinking. What do you think to the game? What do you think to the World Cup so far? Have you been impressed with any team, any player, anything like that? Ecuador pick up the ball deep in the Ivory Coast half. Playing triangles, and a bit of a strong challenge there by the Ivory Coast player. Could be a booking, that it is. Fofana, I think it is, who's been booked. He looks a big lad. Seiko Fofana, and he's arguing his case, but I have to say it looked a yellow card for me. It was a tough tackle. As we just watched the replay, I think that's probably is a yellow card on Caicedo. I wonder if that's on purpose. Obviously, Caicedo will probably be Ecuador's best player, you'd argue. 28 minutes gone, it is still Ivory Coast 0, Ecuador 0. It's just confirmation there of the booking. As Ivory Coast come forward again. Sorry, Ecuador come forward again, my apologies. Ball back with the centre half. William Pacho, I believe that is. And it's gone all the way back to the goalkeeper. One thing I was going to say is, you look at the Ecuadorian side and the captain and Valencia, which is, I always find it strange when a striker or an attacking player is given the captaincy. I think a lot of football fans like it to be a centre back or maybe a general central midfielder like a Steven Gerrard. It's very rare that a striker tends to be a good captain, although I felt Alan Shearer was a good captain in his day. As Ecuador come forward, and it's a decent one to the off, it's straight to the goalkeeper, who picks up quite easily, slows the game down. And we're up to 32 minutes now, and it is still Ivory Coast 0, Ecuador 0. As Ecuador won the ball back here. Well defending, though, by Ivory Coast. Get bodies in the way. The ball's on the edge of the box. It's a good ball slipped in, and it's a chance to hit the ball again. Ecuador have hit the ball again. Great football, great pass inside. As Ecuador still come forward, are they going to get this goal? It's gone to edge of box again. Ball inside the box, good tackle. Are they going to get this goal? It's edge of box again. Again, good ball, good football, and the Scot was kind of screwed wide. But Ecuador, another chance, and really should be doing better for me. At least hit the target. It's a great ball inside the fullback. And yeah, Enner Valencia, I think it was, funnily enough. I think it was Enner Valencia. It was Alan Minder, my apologies. And he really should at least hit the target. But it hits the bar and bounces over. And it's still Ivory Coast 0, Ecuador 0. And living on their last nerves at the minute are Ivory Coast. And Ivory Coast come forward. I mean, it's been taken away. Ecuador really control the game now. Every time I notice Ecuador win the ball back, Ivory Coast just get men behind the ball. I noticed it then. There were 3 midfielders around, and I think a world-class midfielders probably closed the player down, but they didn't. They all just reverted and stepped back and make sure they got their bodies behind the ball. Just again, brilliant that from Ecuador, closing down by Hincapié, and he's one of throwing deep in the Ivory Coast half. Throws it back, and the centre back has now got it for Ecuador. I think Ecuador must have dominated possession. I will just check now to see what the possession's like. In fact, just general stats, actually. Let's see what we're at the minute. As Ecuador come forward, and that is a foul. I mean, interestingly, it looked a foul, but then the referees waved it away. I'd like to see that one again. So far, 54% possession. That's doing to Ivory Coast, which is surprising. Expected goals, 0.5 for Ecuador, 0.38 for Ivory Coast. So again, it's actually quite close according to the stats. Just say one big chance each, interestingly. I would argue that Ecuador's had a couple of big chances. I mean, sometimes it does take a minute or two to update, so maybe it will update in a few minutes, and it'll look more like Ecuador, are dominating. Still 0-0, 32 minutes gone, and it's still Ivory Coast 0, Ecuador 0, which is surprising because there have been chances for both sides. As Ivory Coast come forward, with Diamantes to the edge of the box, and it's laid off to the edge of the box, and I think it's Fofana leaning back, has a shot, and it goes sailing over the bar. Not the best technique there from Fofana, as we've got an Ecuador fan holding the pretend World Cup. You could only dream that his nation will hold that World Cup. As Ecuador have the ball on the left-hand side, a long ball knocked forward to no one really, but Ecuador pick it up in the Ivory Coast half. Can they do something with this? Ball's gone backwards. They've got the match stats on the screen saying 4 6 attempts from Ecuador, 0 on target. I think that probably tells the story. Obviously, a couple of them were where he hit the ball, to be fair to him. But yeah, interesting. Is Ecuador bad touch there by the Ecuador attacker? As Ivory Coast struggled to clear it, and it's just whacked forward anywhere to the Ecuador centre halves, and the attack starts again. Let's talk about England then, for a little bit, shall we? Obviously, I've already said a lot on England, and when me and Luke were watching the Brazil Morocco game, I was going to talk about England then, but we never actually got around to it. So I want to give you my 2 penny worth on England. I'll start with the squad. I think I'm like most English fans, and yeah, I'm quite disappointed with some of the decisions that the manager's made. I don't know how Dan Burn gone as quickly as Yandy Monday. He's done really well. It's our chances, great defending, and they've managed to get it clear. Ecuador, it's gone out for a goal kick, but great break again by Monday, and he does look lively. Yandy and Monday. I just want to see like how old he actually is. I said he was a young player. Just want to see how old he actually is. He's 19, yeah, 19 years old, and he's been exceptional for me in this game. Absolutely exceptional. And again, a half chance again for Ivory Coast. See, this game really is swinging from one way to the one team to the other. Ecuador seem to get kind of 5 to 10 minutes of possession and chances, and then Ivory Coast seem to get possession and chances. So it is interesting. Yes, back to England, as I was saying. So I was disappointed with some of the decisions that the manager's made. Dan Burn, like 34 or 35-year-old Dan Burn, I don't know why for the life of me he's taken him. Now, I can only think that it's because he's left-footed and he can probably cover at left back if need be, and he can play on that left-hand side of the defence. That's all I can think of. But Harry Maguire, I mean, I don't think I'd have had season for Manchester United, Harry Maguire, and he's probably one of the best, if not the best in the world at like winning headers from set pieces and getting headers and scoring goals. So yeah, very disappointed with that one. I think Foden should have gone. Phil Foden over for me, not Cole Palmer, over Anthony Gordon. Phil Foden scored more goals, got more assists than Anthony Gordon. So don't know why he's not been picked. The reason he's supposed to pick these players is because he feels that these are the informed players. Well, that's not right, because I said Phil Foden was more informed than Anthony Gordon, so it can't be right. And Samuel piping, yeah, if you're taking John Henderson for me, it's not beautiful. And I agree, Sam. A lot of people told me that he's not going to play. It's just that he's gone for the kind of camaraderie and the experience in the dressing room. And to me, if that is the case, it's just a waste of the pick. What happens if we have 3 or 4 midfielders who now get injured and you've got to play Jordan Henderson? It's just ridiculous. And I completely agree with you, Sam. Very disappointed that Henderson's gone. Like I said, he won't play anyway, Henderson. He might play the third game. If England would have qualified and our third game's against the really poor Panama side, he may play then, not sure. Lee Kingbush, Harry won the most one-on-one chances for league this season to extent. Yeah, and again, just backs up my point, Lee. I was saying, I can't understand it, why he's not took him. There are all these conspiracy theories now that, is he done this on purpose, being a German manager? I'm sure that's not the case, but it does make you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, if he ends up winning the World Cup, obviously you can forgive him, I guess. But we'll have to see, won't we? Only a couple of days now till England's first game. So what do you guys think of it? I mean, England seems to play Croatia every single World Cup, and that's so they've got first game of the season. It's not an easy start. Not an easy start, but I can see it being a draw. I think you'll find England draw the first game. They might even draw the second game, and then they'll win the last game, and then that'll be enough to see them through. That wouldn't surprise me if they drew the 2 games and then they won the third. I would say that the last friendly game they played, I want to say New Zealand. I don't know if that's right. But the last friendly game they played, where they won 3-0, they were excellent. And yeah, they're quite a lot. Every time they went forward, I thought they were going to score. To be fair, so I think if you can put that sort of performance against the better teams, then you never know. So we're going up to the 40th minute now, and it's still Ivory Coast, still Ecuador nil. I'm not sure how, because there have been chances both sides. As Ecuador have the possession of the ball at their centre halves, there's passing between themselves at the minute. We got 114 people watching, which is excellent. Again, I really appreciate you watching, and the number just keeps going up and up and up. Where, as I said, it's got 220, so that is unbelievable. And again, I really do appreciate it. Like I said, we only had about 60 when we started, so the other 80 or so. Honestly, if you subscribe, you will get a notification. And like I said, we are going to watch pretty much 90% of games of the World Cup. Like I said, we've missed one so far. I think we're going to miss the Sweden game. But apart from that, we've pretty much done every single game. So yeah, make sure you stick with us. And hopefully, we're still watching England in the next 2 to 3 weeks because they're still in it. We'll have to see. As the Ecuadorian player goes down. Just watch a replay there of what like a foul on Enner Valencia. Not sure the referee's given. It looks like Valencia is always given a free kick, and the fullback Douay has been booked. Thought that was a little bit harsh, but it is a booking. It's a chance for Ecuador to get the ball into the box and attack it. I mean, one thing I've noticed is there's not been a lot of set pieces into the box, whether it's via a corner or a free kick. So this is a chance for Ecuador to get the ball into the box. Can they capitalise on this free kick given away? The weather looks good, doesn't it, in America? Every time you watch a game, it looks like it's warm and dry. Whereas obviously in England, we're still getting mixed with the ball comes in. It's a free header and he's headed it over. It's another half chance for Ecuador, and he should do better for me. But again, you don't get over the ball and he heads upwards and it goes flying over the bar. Yeah, as I was saying, the weather in England is still inconsistent. 1 minute it's warm and dry and sunny, and the next minute it's raining, freezing, and thunder and lightning, which is typical English weather, I suppose. Still 0-0. We're current up to half time now, and it is still 0-0. Looks like Lee Bush is still up and awake as well, Lee. Thoughts on game, Lee, if you're still watching. Could have been some goals, but not so far. Surely we'll see goals in the second half with a bit of luck. Here we go. As Ecuador go forward, it's well defended. Ecuador pick up the second ball. It's played to midfield. And to be fair to Ivory Coast, I noticed this at World Cups as well. I know Curacao got hammered, but what I do notice at World Cups, and it is how it should be, is most players, most teams, most players up the game for World Cups, and they never seem to give in. If you were to look at a Holland v Japan team 15, 20 years ago, Holland would probably hammer Japan 5-6-0. And now I know Japan have got an improved side now, but I still expected Holland to win that game. And Japan, well worth the point, and they got the 2-2 draw. And again, half risk, I do think, because they've got an improved team than they did 20 years ago. But half risk, because I do think that players just want it. They work hard, they get tackles in, they chase back. It's just like, Ivory Coast about 10 minutes ago had a chance, and it looked like you were a free shot on goal, and the Ecuador defender literally threw his body in the way of it, and said, "You're not scoring today." And I just tend to notice that with World Cup teams, especially the lower ranked teams as well. And it always worries me with England, because if England aren't on their game, then they'll not win the game. Apart from the Germany game, we've not really seen like a a big nation hammer another one. In Brazil only got the draw against Morocco. Everyone thought Scotland were going to hammer Haiti, and again they only just won. And let's face it, Haiti were probably the better side, to be fair. Missing a few chances. And what I would say again, Lee, obviously I know you said this on your video. I think Scotland were probably a little bit nervous in that game. It was the first World Cup match in, I don't know, 30 years, whatever it is. And they knew that they had to win that game if they wanted a chance to get him through. And I think the nerves probably got the better of him. So I do expect him, obviously, they've got Brazil and Morocco coming up. They're not going to beat either of them, but I do expect them to put a better performance in. King Bush, I'm not watching us listening to you, bro. Got my headphones in. Oh, I hope I'm not sending you to sleep. Well, that's what you want. My dulcet tones and soft voice sending you to sleep. I imagine that's what you do want. So yeah, you've done well actually. Still, I thought you'd be asleep by now. I'm not going to lie. As the Ecuadorian team come forward and again breaks down on the edge of the box, and Ivory Coast try and break, but the ball's given away as we are cut up to the 45th minute now. It's Ivory Coast pick up the ball in their own half. And it looks like a great ball. What a ball from the midfield to the wing. It's a great first touch. He put a ball in, and to be fair, the winger looked where the striker were and played the cross in that position. But as he played the cross, the striker kind of moved and went short. A little bit lack of communication there from the two Ivory Coast players. There's a minimum of 4 minutes have been put up. And what I'm going to do, actually, I am going to, at half time, I'm just going to nip off, have a quick break, and then I'm probably going to move as well my location. I'm going to move downstairs. Don't want to keep people awake in the house with me talking. So, yeah, I'll probably move downstairs for the second half. So just a FYI, anyway. Ecuador have the ball. It's a great bit of skill, but they're giving the ball away. Brilliant bit of skill by the Ecuadorian winger, though. Falls down midfield with the Ivory Coast player. Driving forward, gets into the Ecuadorian half. And the fullback's got the ball. Played down to my mate, Diamonde. He shakes up to try and beat his man. He's got two on him. He's got to the byline. Brilliant. He's full of crossing and well defended. And it's gone out for a corner to Ivory Coast. And again, my man, Diamonde, is causing Ecuador all sorts of problems. As we just show a replay of the earlier brilliant raking pass, 30-yard pass. And he looked up, the guy, the person who put the ball in, as he looked up, he played the cross, and the striker kind of changed his direction in which he were moving, and the ball ended up in the goalkeeper's hands. We have a corner, though, to the Ivory Coast, to whipped in. Nicolas Pepe in goes the ball, well defended, great header away. I mean, you're probably not going to score against Ecuador defence from a corner when they've got Hincapié and William Pacho as the ball's played back in. Overhead kick. Good effort. It is an overhead kick from the centre half as well. Wilfred Singo. It went quite a long way over, but it was an audacious effort. Yeah, it weren't that bad effort, actually. It was over, but it weren't too far over. It was never going in. We're now into the 3rd minute of 4. It does look like it's going to be 0-0 at half time. As Ecuador play out from the back from the goalkeeper. And the ball's given away, and Diamonde picks up for Ivory Coast, and he's driving at the defence, plays it inside. I don't know if you meant that. He's had a good shot. He's hit his own man. The Ivory Coast striker, Nicolas Pepe, the ex-Arsenal player, he kind of turned his man, swiveled and shot on the edge of the box. He hit his own player, the number 12. Ellie Waiki, I think it is. Disappointing. Yeah, great turn by Pepe, showing the replay. Has a shot, looks like it's going to the bottom corner, to be fair, but hits his own man and goes out for a goal kick. As we enter the last minute of injury time, still Ivory Coast 0, Ecuador 0. As Ivory Coast actually, they're kind of on top at the minute. They probably don't want half time. It's just the Ivory Coast are breaking forward. There were 4 or 5 players breaking forward, and one player, as he was breaking forward, just ran straight into Caicedo and fouled him. So the referee just flew up and gave him a free kick. What a waste that was. The Ivory Coast manager's furious there. I think he's trying to say that what could the player do? He just ran forward, and Moses Caicedo played quite cleverly, stepped in front of him, and it made it like a foul. So fair play to Caicedo. The last few seconds of the first half, it has been a decent half. I know it's 0-0. It has been a decent first half. Chances both sides as the header is away by the Ivory Coast defence. And I think they're going to get this clear. And there it is, half time. So an exhilarating 45 minutes. And the 2 games that I've actually watched have both been quite end to end with chances. Difference is there were 2 goals in the other game at half time, whereas this game it is 0-0. Bit of lack of composure from both sides, I think, in the final third, and that's why it does remain 0-0. The Ivory Coast team head towards the changing room, but the Ecuadorian team is staying on the pitch together as a team. United, like they're all walking into the tunnel together. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe to show team cohesion. I'm not sure. It's half time anyway. It's Ivory Coast 0, Ecuador 0. I'll keep it live. I'm gonna nip away for just 10 minutes, and I'll be back in when the second half starts. So, cheers everyone. Good evening, and we are back for the second half. Well, the second half is just about to start. On my screen, anyway, the play's just coming out. I do think will we see a goal in this second half? It is still Ivory Coast 0, Ecuador 0. Decent first half, chances for both sides, but it still remains 0-0. As I said at the end of the first half, I think a little bit more composure required from either team, and I think there might have been one, maybe two goals. A lot of efforts where players weren't getting the head over the ball and they were leaning back and the ball flying over the bar. And obviously, Ecuador hit the crossbar twice as well. One was a great effort. I feel he should have got it on target. Players were all ready now for the second half. We've got 130 of you, and again, I really do appreciate you all in here listening to my boring voice. Drivel on or talk about absolute drivel as we do kick off now. Ivory Coast kick the second half off, and it is 0-0, like I said. And fair play to you lads and lasses who are still up at this time, 1 o'clock on a Sunday night stroke Monday morning. A lot of you, I'm sure, will be working tomorrow, so good luck with getting up. I'm actually interested to know if any of you are going to watch the Sweden game. And we're not actually covering the Sweden game. Couldn't get anyone to do a Monday morning at 3 o'clock, funnily enough. So yeah, I'm just intrigued to see if any of you are, going to watch the Sweden game. It's just a great ball in and half a chance for Ecuador, and I think he hits the post. I think it was the wrong thing to do. He kind of got played in, and rather than drill it across the box, he ended up drilling it towards goal and it hit the post. He should do a lot better there for me. Keep on it covered, so we're never going in. But another half chance for Ecuador. Good bit of football, and again, just the wrong decision when they're going forward. As Ivory Coast restart with a goal kick. That would have been a great start to the second half for Ivory Coast. No changes at the half times. Still the same teams as you can see on the screen. The starting 11 spot. Ivory Coast and Ecuador. I'll quickly go through them now. So Ivory Coast, Fofana, Doué, Agpadu, Conan, Singo, Diamonde, Kessit, Torre, Fofana, Pepe, and Wahi. Ecuador, Galindez, Pacho, Hincape, Ordonez, Fiti, Franco, Minda, Caicedo, Valencia, Flatter, and Yeboah, who is not Tony Yeboah's son, or any relation to Tony Yeboah's son, where as Ecuador look to break. They've got the ball out wide to the left-hand side. Hincape is striding forward. He puts a decent ball in, but it's straight to the goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper rolls it straight out. Looks like a bit of an end-to-end game now. A brilliant play. The number 24, so Torre there, he beat his man, he megged his man, and he got brought down. And that should be a booking for the Ecuadorian number 21, who is Alan Franco. Yeah, brilliant play by Torre. It got away. But it took the Ivory Coast, took the Ecuadorian man to take him out, to stop him. Ivory Coast now on the ball, in possession, keeping hold of the ball, not really penetrating the Ivory Coast Ecuador defence, at the minute. And ball's lost there. The Ivory Coast striker was looking for a foul there, but I don't think I saw one. How do you think these two teams will get on there in the World Cup? I mean, at the start of the game, we were going through the starting 11s of both sides, and we all a couple of comments said, and I said that there's quite a lot of good players actually between both sides. Ivory Coast. They've got the Wilfred Singo, who's the stays in Serie A. You've got Frank Kessie. You've got the wonder kid I've been on about all game, Yandy and Monday. You've got Sika Fafana, and Ivory Coast are in, and it is Fafana he's on the right hand side. He cuts in. He plays it to the edge of the box, a chance, a good effort, and he's getting it sliced. It's another occasion where the ball it's got to the edge of the box within a shooting range, and the lad sliced it. And that was my mate actually this time. That was Andy and Monday, incredibly. Again, just a lack of composure. They seem to get in a little bit too excited when they're when they're attacking. This is not just Ivory Coast; it's both sides. I'm just going to check the old Twitter. See if we've got anything on there. I don't think so. Does Ecuador have the ball at the back? So as I was saying, yeah, so these two sides. So what would be a good finish for both Ecuador and Ivory Coast? Both of them at least got good starting 11s. As Ivory Coast, the Ecuador lad tried to get around the Ivory Coast right back and he failed. Good flick there and well played. They kept the ball really well there, Ivory Coast. Then they've got one throw in deep inside their own half. So yeah, Ivory Coast, Ecuador. Where do you think they're going to finish? Where can they finish? I've already gone for Ivory Coast first 11, and it's not as weak as you think. It's quite strong, I'd say. And same with Ecuador. They've got William Pacho in there, Champions League winner, in Cafe, Premier League winner. Moises Caicedo, one of the most expensive players in the world. So where do you think these are looking? I mean, are they looking to get ahead of teams like England? Do you think they'll go further than England, these two teams? I guess it all depends on the runs that they get, where they finish and who they get in the next knockout stage. Because I think the reason England got to the semi-final 8 years ago was for that reason, because they did get quite an easy run. And they should have beat Croatia as well, which was disappointing. So Ivory Coast come for it. It's a great ball in, and it's hit the bar again. It's Ivory Coast this time. It's a great cross into the box. The Ivory Coast played actually really well to get a good connection. They got too much of a connection on it, and it hit the ball, and it's gone out. Wow, good work 3 times in this game now. He actually does well. I don't think he can do a lot more, the Ivory Coast striker. So he's unlucky there. And yeah, hit the crossbar. It's going to be one of them games into it where both sides hammer each other's goals. It's going to finish 0-0. You can just see it now. Can't you? Oh dear me. Mm-hmm. Ivory Coast come forward again. And a decent effort again there, but it's just gone wide of the goal for fun. Again, not the best composure. As we're looking at some of the Ecuadorian Ivory Coast fans there. And Lee Busk still confirms here. He's getting tired though, he says, fussing. We're pleased to know, Lee, we're up to 140 viewers now as well. I thought the viewers might have gone down when we went off at half time, but now they've still gone up. And again, it's a credit to all you guys watching. Let me tell you, when you're sat here at 1 o'clock in the morning and there's only 2 viewers watching you, is it worth it? I don't really know. Ivory Coast had the ball in their own half at the minute. Just keeping the possession between the defenders. Just like Ivory Coast have come out stronger. And here we go again. Just good covering there by Ecuador defence. And it's back with the Ecuadorian goalkeeper. Are we going to see a goal in this game? Ecuador hold the ball in their deep in their own half. It's with the left-sided centre half, Pacho into Cafe, I believe. Here we go. Can they? Here we go. Oh, it's and they've run it back there, Ecuador, and Ecuador going forward. He cuts inside. He's going to play out wide. He's going to shoot. He's going out wide. He's free. He Cafe's free. Cuts back. A decent ball and headed away by the Ivory Coast defender, and again cleared by the Ivory Coast player. Picked up though. Ecuador picks it up. Good 1-2 on the edge of the box, and again a shot. No composure. Being dragged wide. Good build up there by Ecuador, and it's Vitti, I think, who drags it wide. Hopefully we will see a goal. As Ecuador are making their first substitution. Coming off is Alan Minder, replaced by number 20, Sangulo, and Ivory Coast are making some subs as well. Angulo, so the Sunderland forward has come on for Ivory Coast. For Ecuador. And Ecuador are making a treble change. I know they've got Bonnie, they've got Adman, the Manchester United Hamad, the Manchester United winger coming on. They've got the Interland striker in Bonnie coming on. I'm not sure who the third one is yet. I'm hoping to put the graphic up at some point, and here we go. So it's Wahi and Torre off for Ivory Coast, Bonnie and Delo on. So it's only 2 subs. Surprised that Ahmad didn't start actually. Obviously, he's been one of Manchester United's better performing players this season. And yeah, I thought he'd get into this Ivory Coast side. I can imagine actually if they had just confirmed the Ecuador sub. It is Angulo on for Minder, and here we go. Ivory Coast have a chance. It's Fofana. He plays it off. It's a chance. He's crossed it and it's cleared. Again, good defending. Ecuador for the wrong decision by the Ivory Coast striker. As Ivory Coast pick up again. As I was saying, yeah, can you imagine Ivory Coast with Diamande on one wing and Ahmed on the other wing? That looks like a good set of wingers to me. But Ivory Coast look to build again. It's with the centre half. It's a decent ball. Good take by Fofana out wide. Looks like Diamande. He's brilliant. He's gone for 2. He's gone for 3. He's killed it. Oh, he's killed it over. Absolutely brilliant by Diamande. What a performance by this young man. He beat 3 men, and he again lacked that little bit of composure at the end to fire into the kind of top corner. His head's up and he's blazed it over the bar. There's 140 people watching us still. Again, I really appreciate it. I know I keep saying it, but I wouldn't be doing this if you guys weren't here. You'd be watching the game, listening to whether you enjoy BBC commentary, I don't know, but you're listening to that commentary. I know that I used to when I don't know if you can still do it actually on Sky, where you can play the game, you can change the commentary to like BBC 5 Live. I used to do that, me. And here we go again, Diamande. He's got in. He's tried to put one. He's fallen to Fofana. takes a touch, loses his footing, and Ecuador clear, and Ivory Coast are on top at the minute. Or are they going to take advantage while they're on top? Ball's back with the goalkeeper. There's Ivory Coast up to build again. So out to the right wing. Ahmed, here we go. Ahmed, it's a good ball inside. There's only one team looking like scoring at the minute, and that is Ivory Coast. Ball into Bonnie, the striker, the target man, the Inter Milan player. He's held the ball up extremely well, played it back. As Ivory Coast continue to build, it's switched to Diamando, who's now on the left wing, up front on the left wing. Is he going to be? He's got two men on him. He's gone past them again. He's put a decent ball and headed away for a corner. Ivory Coast putting a bit of pressure now. It's a corner to Ivory Coast. That Yandy Monday again, beating two men, getting a ball in and winning a corner. Fair play. I wonder if the big boys looking at this guy after the World Cup. There's always, 3 or 4 players who have a really good World Cup and they get a move on based on it. As the corner's taken quickly for Fafana, he's got to the edge of the, he's gone for goal, deflected straight to the keeper's arms. It's a shot on the edge of the box. It's gone for a crowd of players, took a deflection, and it's made it comfortable for the goalkeeper incredibly. I'm telling you, it's going to finish 0-0 this. Both teams have chances, and it's going to finish 0-0. Unbelievable. Ecuador have a bit of possession now. Obviously, Ivory Coast have been dominant this second half. Interesting, the Ecuadorian player there, Angulo, he knocked the ball on, kind of gave it up, then realised he could get there and chased it. It was too late. If he'd just gone for it in the first place, he'd have kept that in play. But it's a throw into Ivory Coast. Then it's another sub. The camera's currently on the assistant referee. So who are these subs? Got the Ecuadorian fans, the random Canada fan in the crowd as well. Hopefully the graphic goes on. I don't know if the subs have been made actually. The assistant referee put his board up, but I don't think subs have been made, and the Ecuadorian manager thinks furious with something. I'm not sure what, but he's absolutely furious. Here we go. Subs been made now. Preciado is coming on, along with Perazzo and number 21. Alan Franco comes off. And the other sub to come off, I haven't seen that one yet. And the new Perazzo just come on, looks a big unit for Ecuador. He looks like he's gone to centre back because he's marking Bonnie, who's the Ivory Coast target man at the minute. Yeboah's gone off and Franco's gone off, so Tony Yeboah's son has gone off. Just joking, obviously not. Preciado and Perazzo have come on. So both teams now made changes, but it's still Ivory Coast who are on top in this game. I just don't see a goal. I don't want to be the first one to do a live stream on my own and it finished 0-0. The ball's fallen to Fafana and Ecuador get the ball back to the goalkeeper who clears. Ecuador come forward. The new lad who's just come on, hit the wall well, and they're going back to the centre half. And then the Ecuador centre half, who's just come on, has just cleared it out straight out of play. That's why you're not starting, mate. 141 viewers still. So again, I really appreciate people who are watching. It does mean that we will keep on doing this, and even the late ones. So this is obviously 12 o'clock kickoff. It's 1:30 now. So we will still do these, especially if people are watching them. As I said, I'd like to know. I mean, a lot of you are watching on X, so you probably can't comment. But if you could come over to YouTube, click on the link that's on the KB Tennis Talk X page, and then just put a comment in. And I'm interested to see if you have booked a holiday for the World Cup games, or are you just risking staying up till early hours of the morning and then getting up for work at normal time? And if you're tired, you're tired. I mean, I used to do that a lot. I'm a bit of a night person myself, so I would. I just would stay awake all night, and then I wouldn't want to get up in the morning. Again, it's something I'd like to know what you guys are. Are you a night owl, or was it early morning bird? As the Ecuador fans are absolutely loving it. It just looks like they're enjoying being here. No pressure on them. They're just enjoying the atmosphere and the match, I believe. Ivory Coast has kind of pressure has died down a little bit now. Ecuador have the possession of the ball. Ivory Coast ball in possession, back to the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper actually not done a lot this for the second half. Ivory Coast has been pressing, and then the goalkeeper clears it straight out of play. Ball's taken in quickly. It's a good pass. I was just guys, it's a great ball and a decent cross. It's cleared. Can Ecuador pick it up? Yeah, fantastic inside ball there from Caicedo. You can see why Chelsea paid the big bucks for him. Defence splitting pass it was. The winger just about got there for a decent ball in, but it's cleared an Ivory Coast now on the attack. It's the right fullback at the minute. Looks like Ahmad's come on and not really touch the ball, but here we go. He cuts inside, he beats one man, cuts inside again. He's got to the byline. He's done really well, and and Bonnie should do better there. Just kind of, Ahmed kind of drills at him, and Bonnie hits his knee and goes out for a goal kick. Unfortunately, this is good play still by Ivory Coast. The last 10 minutes or so, it's been quite an even game, but the 15 minutes prior to that, Ivory Coast were on top and probably deserve a goal. Hit the bar as I've mentioned, and Ecuador won't hit the bar twice. It's a long goal kick, and the Ecuadorian striker's going to pick that up. And they are showing actually like a map of the match momentum, and it really is. Ecuador 1 minute and Ivory Coast next minute, and it just shows this second half has been all the Ivory Coast. And Ecuador there really closing down the Ivory Coast defence, and they've managed to finish the ball as well. And Angula's got down his right hand side. He's put a good point into the box. It's half a chance. It's a great strike and a good save by the goalkeeper. It was straight at him. He should save it, but it was moving in the air. It's a shot on target. Ecuador have not had a lot of shots on target, and that was, but it was comfortable for the goalkeeper who palmed it away. And then the Ecuador striker couldn't get it under control. It's gone out for a goal kick to Ivory Coast. And again, the game swings back into Ecuador's favour. And we're now on our second hydration break. So we've done the first half of the second half, if you like, 22.5 minutes. So we're into the last quarter of the game now. and it is still 0-0. We do need someone like Yandy and Monday to somehow he's beating his men, getting balls in and what have you, but he just needs a little bit more composure in front of goal to get a good strike away. I don't know if Ivory Coast can bring someone else on. Just going to quickly have a look at who is on the bench of both sides, if we recognise any of them. They've got Simon Adingra. I don't know if they've got the Osama Diomande, the Sporting Lisbon defender. He's not playing, which I'm surprised at. They've got Gesson, the Crystal Palace, who could come on. They've got the Nottingham Forest midfielder Sangore. They've not really got a lot going forward. I mean, they've got Evan Gesson, I suppose he could come on. I'm just looking at Ecuador. They've got Esteban, the AC Milan player. Is that for? I think they've got Facundo. They've not got a lot on the bench, to be fair. Ecuador, I think that's probably where they're going to struggle. The first team's decent, but their squad not as strong as some of the major nations in this World Cup. So does anyone else find the water breaks and knowing who else thinks that only happens to the USA can show adverts? And yeah, Sam, we actually had this conversation in one of the other live broadcasts. I think you're right. It'll only happen for the World Cup, and the excuse they obviously give is the fact that the weather is so hot and so humid, and they need the hydration breaks. I think you're right. I think when we get back to England, and it's winter football, you're not going to see the hydration breaks at all. And I completely agree. I think if you're watching this game in America, they've probably just put an advert on. And it won't surprise me if they put an advert on at some goal kicks, because sometimes goal kicks can take a long time to get back into play, and you're not going to miss an action. If you do it at a corner, you could possibly miss a goal because the corner swung in a goal. Whereas a goal kick, all they're going to do is knock it long, and they'll keep possession of the ball for the next couple of minutes, or they'll go long and it'll just be in midfield. So yeah, it is interesting. I do think that, as I said, if you watch it in America, I really do believe that it is one. And you're right, Sam, it doesn't, but it and as I said, the MLS though, I don't think that is a summer sport. I think it is, like I said, I think it's the excuse they're using is because of the warm weather, and that's why they're doing it. But you are right. There's no doubt that the Americans will be showing adverts when the hydration breaks are on, and I think because football generally is played in the winter of each country, I think that you don't need the hydration breaks. I think it's interesting because you see a goalkeeper go down after 25 minutes or after 60 minutes, and we all know now why they're doing it. It's so they can get some tactics onto the pitch, and the managers can get some feedback and some instructions onto the players. And to be honest with you, with the hydration breaks, the corner comes in there for Ecuador, it's almost stopping that to an extent. If we can agree that, look, we'll have these two breaks, one each half, that's when you can, give your tactics, instructions, whatever to the players, then it might stop the goalkeeper going down. I don't know. But you're right, it doesn't happen to MLS, it won't happen. I don't think it'll happen in English football when we get back to the Washington the Millers next season. Chris Nichols for the algorithm. Thank you. Hi, Chris. Is it Chris? Are you you're watching? Where are you watching from? Are you one of our long distance watchers? I know we do have a lot of fans who are like around the world, including I think Australia and New Zealand, which obviously is for the daytime for them. Are you from this other country to us? If you are, then welcome. And I'm interested what time it is where you are, because here it's gone 4:30 in the morning. which is why there's not a lot of comments coming through at the minute. So yeah, it'd be interesting what you want. And Sam, actually, you obviously I know you've covered a few times. Are you working tomorrow? And Sam, where you work, uni or college, whatever, tomorrow? I'm just interested to see if you're going to risk it and stay up in the night and then just feel awful tomorrow, or are you genuinely off and therefore you can stay up as long as you want? So just intrigued really to see what you're doing tomorrow, Sam. 75 minutes in now, and it is still 0-0. Incredibly. And it's just a lack of composure, really, as to why there's been no goals. As a long ball's been played to the target man Bonnet, and Bonnet's a decent knockback, but it's well defended, and he slips over and it falls to the goalkeeper, and they are chasing a back pass. I don't think they were a back pass, to be honest there, but they were shouting for it anyway. 15 minutes to go plus injury time. Can either of these teams get a winner, or will they settle for a draw? I mean, it's not the end of the world if these teams draw. I'm just going to check who's in their group. I mean, yeah, they've both got Germany. You can expect both these sides to be Curacao, or Curacao, I don't know how you pronounce it. Obviously, Germany will be difficult. But I imagine that Germany, Ecuador, and Ivory Coast will all qualify. Obviously, you've got 3 teams who qualify in 8 of the 12 groups. So I imagine this will be one group where they will get extra qualification. As Ecuador attack down this right side, yeah, they offered me a later start. Look, let's see. Okay, is that just for tomorrow then? So, or is that like an ongoing thing during the World Cup? And where is it you work? I'm just interested. Where you work. If they have let you start every day late so you can watch the World Cup games, that's brilliant. And has it been offered to other people in the company or wherever you work, or is it just yourself? Just interested, really. I mean, I've worked in the same company for 16 years. And when I first started, it was office hours. You had to be there bang on 9 o'clock. You had to go for your dinner at 12:15, and you finished at 4:45. And then when the World Cup was on and England were playing, let's say they were playing at 2 o'clock, you'd go into work in the morning and they'd let you probably go for 1 o'clock so you could watch the England game. They're actually good like that, to be fair. Now, not so much, because you're kind of, I'm lucky enough to work in this world as well. Just before I carry on, a couple of substitutions for Ivory Coast. Pepe Fafana has gone off. I'm surprised I took Fafana off, actually. Sangare and Man City's come on, and Ulai. So a couple of changes there for Ivory Coast. I think it's just to get some fresh legs out there. Also a change for Ecuador as well. Rodriguez has come on. Not sure who's gone off yet. I'll wait for the graphic to come up. Here we go. And Valencia's gone off. And it's Rodriguez who's come on. So yeah, a couple of changes to maybe try and sway the game in their favour. But yeah, as I was saying, nowadays I work in a hybrid sort of role where you can work half there, half at home, and because of that, if England were playing in the afternoon, they'd probably say you can watch the game, but you're still logged on and still working, which is not the same really as when it were. You'd like I said, you'd go home and you might be able to get to the pub for 2 o'clock and watch it with your friends, whereas you can't do that when you're working. So obviously not as good now. That's probably one of the negatives, if you like, of working from home, because I know a lot of people like working from home. I actually prefer being in the office, funnily enough, and not many people, I think, share my view. But yeah, I prefer working in the office. I like interacting with people face to face. I don't think it's very good for, if you like, mental health when people are at home and they're just on phones. Is it just a bit of scuffling there, and then it kind of died down quickly between Ahmed of Ivory Coast and one of the Ecuador players. Ahmed has won a free kick though, which has been taken short. So we've got 12 minutes left plus injury time. Can a team get a goal? Yandy Monday again, brilliant play. He's been my man of the match so far. The flank side turn. It's good football, but Ahmed was not the best pass from Ahmed there. And there's the Sangor. It's great ball, great control of Ahmed, and his feet. Oh man, he should have played it to Monday. It's just the wrong decision again. That's a handball. Yeah, Ivory Coast are trying to get some momentum, trying to get that winner. Looks like Ecuador are kind of tired, and I think look as I look at the two squads about 10 minutes ago. Ivory Coast do seem to have better bench than Ecuador. So I just wonder if now that we're into the last few minutes of the game, it's probably going to be Ivory Coast who finish the strongest because they can put stronger players on the pitch. Whereas Ecuador get a bit weaker. I'm not sure really. I just hope there's a goal. It's still 0-0. We're in the 80th minute. And Ecuador have the ball at centre half. Play it around. It's good play there, so Ecuador. Caicedo on the ball. He'll probably never get took off. He'll be Ecuador's best player, I imagine. I think what is interesting with these African sides, obviously a lot of the African sides have improved and they do continue to improve. And I just wonder if in, I don't know, another 12 years, so another 3 World Cups, if these clubs are even stronger because a lot more players are coming out of Africa. And it wouldn't surprise me if these clubs continue to get stronger. And if that is the case, it does mean that, like England, at the minute England have a chance of winning the World Cup. I'd say I don't think they will win it, but they've got a chance of winning it. Obviously, 12 years time, if the African sides are improved, then it just makes England's chance less likely, which would be a shame. Samuel. No, it's just shit as I take and given to the when I didn't. Oh yeah, cool. Makes sense, Sam. Yeah. Got a couple of friends who are like that as well. You don't work at the glass company, do you? I forgot what it's called now. Was it something Beaton in Rotherham? I can't remember what it's called. But I've got a friend who works there actually. Sure, I don't even know what it's called. Let me just try and get the name of it. Beats and Clark, that's it. Beats and Clark. You don't work at Beats and Clark, do you? Just a random standard art, because that's like I said, one of my friends works there and he does shift dirt fans. Ecuador ball into the box and it's just claimed by the goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper's throwing the ball out to I think Ahmed. Diamonde now. Diamonde. He quickly 2 players on him. Back to Ahmed. I was saying earlier, I really do think this World Cup's going to make Diamonde, and you can see going to one of the big boys, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain. He looks like he could be like a replacement, like a Diamonde, a Dembele at PSG. Here he is again, the 19-year-old. His feet is run again. He's gone for 2. He's gone for 3. It's a chance. It's well defended, and it's gone out for a goal kick. Again, it's just superb from Diamonde. Looks like he's injured himself in the process, but superb again. Went past 1. Luckily, to be fair, but kept his balance. Went past 2. Played the ball inside, and he should do better there. Who was it? Conan should do better, really. No. Okay, Sam. Yeah, just a stab in the dark, to be fair. Are you getting tired though, Sam? Do you wish you had gone to sleep, or are you enjoying watching the game? Intrigued. We've actually got 150 people watching now as well, which is incredible. In fact, it's that good that I'm going to have to take a photo of it. Because it is incredible, really. Got that sniffing tool in here. Look at that. 150, incredible. I'll sort that out later. Six minutes plus stoppage time. Can one of these African sides get a winner? Am I not going to be the? Am I going to be the first guy to do a live stream on his own, and it'll be a 0-0 draw with chances at both sides? Mr. King Bush is still alive with us then. Did I not tell you about the World Cup fans? Keep the faith. We'll keep the faith, yeah. No, Lee, I don't know what did I not tell you about the World Cup fans? No, Lee, you didn't. Not sure what you're referring to there, so I'm surprised he's still awake, actually. Fair play. As Ivory Coast, well, they thought they were throwing them, but they're not. And Ahmed is challenging the linesman. They did like an Ivory Coast throwing to fair. We're just giving it Ecuador. We're into the last 5 minutes now. Oh yeah, Lee, I get you. Yeah, I see what you mean now. Yeah, yeah. You were right, Lee. To be fair, not sure what actually happened with that video. Like I say, it must have been something to do with England, but I don't know. It will be the best 0-0. That is true, Sam. I could say that I've watched the best ever 0-0. That is true, to be fair. Some crying faces there, yeah. Ecuador have a free kick there now, deep in the Ivory Coast half. Can they get a good delivery in and get a winner? Yeah, just a one-off. I agree, Lee. Just a one-off. You might as well stay up till the end, though, now, Lee. There's only 5 minutes left. You don't fancy doing the Sweden game, Lee, while you're up? Here we go. Free kick to Ecuador. Final few minutes. They're taking the time. The goalkeeper is shouting instructions. Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting that way too fairly. He's just pacing his ball out at the minute. Here we go. Is this going to be a winner for Ecuador? It's whipped in. It's a great ball in ice. Again, it looks like it should have been a corner, but the referee's going to go kicking. It's been changed. It's been changed to a corner. It looked like a great whip ball in from Caicedo. Well defended, I think, from Ivory Coast. So it's now a corner and another chance to potentially get a goal. Angelo is going to take it, the Sunderland player. The referee's got to sort something in the box, bit of scuffle in there. Here we go. The corner's going to come in. Very crossed. And yeah, it's been cleared. And if you can get there, if I could have got there, it would have been a counter-attack and well defended. And it's a goal kick. And bit of needle there, Singo, with the Ecuadorian player. He's kind of shouted in his face there. And now he's got his arms up now. I didn't do anything, he's saying. Two minutes to go for stoppage time, but there will be a little bit of stoppage time, obviously. With the hydration breaks, as Ivory Coast make another substitution, Casano comes on, which I thought was like a defensive midfielder. Right, yeah, Doué's gone off the right back, and Casano's come on. I assume he's going to go straight into right back slots. Here we go. Let's try and get a goal. You've got an Ecuadorian lady there praying for Not sure if she's praying for a goal or praying just to hold on for 0-0. But it's Ecuador coming forward again now. It looks like Ivory Coast have had their dominance, and now it's Ecuador's turn. It's a lot of big challenges going in, physical challenges going in from both sides. Bit of needle, which is what we like, don't we, in England? Bit of needle. Bit of head tennis. It's going back to Ivory Coast goalkeeper, who tries to play it to the lad who's just come on. It's a great touch, and he's turned his man as well. Brilliant. He's now driving down the right wing. No one's closing him down. He's still going. He's played to the edge of the box. It's a great effort. It's a goal. It's a goal for Ivory Coast. They've done it. And it's Lee Bush's man. It's Amad Diallo. It is a great finish. And the Ivory Coast players have gone berserk. They're all off the bench. Have they done it? Have they napped a winner? 8 in the 90th minute, Ivory Coast have scored. And to be fair, the second half they probably deserved it. It's a great finish by Hamad Diallo of Manchester United. He just caressed it into the bottom corner. And Sam's there. You're right there, goal. Ivory Coast. Yeah, we won't see a 0-0 here today, Sam. There's your goal. It is superb play by the Ivory Coast right back. He's just picked up the ball on his own half, and he's just driven 50 yards, and he's played a great ball to just inside the penalty area. And Amad Diallo, he just caressed the ball into the bottom corner. It is a great finish. It is not a great finish, it's a perfect finish. What a finish. It hits the side netting. It is beautiful. Just from the referee's view, it is lovely. It is one of my favourite goals of the World Cup so far. It is beautiful. And the whole squad were on the pitch celebrating. Incredible. Ivory Coast take the lead 1-0. Have Ecuador got it in them to get an equaliser? I've not seen the board actually. 7 minutes have gone up, so Ecuador have got time to get an equaliser, as they've tried to win a penalty there, but it didn't look like a penalty to me. Yeah, we're 2 minutes into the 7. Amad Diallo there. He looks like he's tried to win a throw-in or a free kick, and I think it's been given to Ecuador. He tries to win a free kick. It looks like he has pushed, to be fair. I'm not sure how that's not a foul. He's just pushed him. Can I say it was? It was a free kick, and yeah. So Ecuador now, they've only got 5 minutes to save their third game. A defeat here, and they're under pressure because they've got Germany to come at some point. They should beat Curacao, but they've still got Germany. The Germany Ivory Coast game will be good. And again, it didn't look a foul to me, but the Ivory Coast, the player who won who got the assist, he's done brilliantly. Singo. I mean, it's interesting because Wilfred Singo is always a right back to me. He's been playing centre half, and they move him to right back, and he gets one of the greatest assists ever. Just travels 50 yards up the pitch, plays a beautiful ball into Diallo. Diallo crests it into the bottom corner. Ivory Coast 1, Ecuador 0. And Ivory Coast doing all they can now to slow the game down. Ecuador have the ball. Ball's not long, and it looks like they're going to fit the ball at Ecuador. They looks like they lose. Ahmed, to be fair, he's come on, not really touched the ball for, I don't know, 20 minutes, and then he's going to get the winner. And since the goal has been excellent, and Ivory Coast come forward, are they going to attack you? Are they going to corner? They're attacking, and it's a good effort actually. It's a ball played into the edge of the box, and Amad Diallo again with another effort on goal. It's straight to the goalkeeper. But in these last 10 minutes, he's been excellent. As Amad Diallo. Ecuador come forward. Can they at least create a chance? When you're losing, you normally get one chance. It's whether you take it or not. They need to get the ball forward, Ecuador. They're just playing the ball around the back. It's gone into the right back. He's going to put a cross in. It's a decent ball into the back post. It's a corner. Singo with a great header. Heads out for a corner. This is it. Can they get an equaliser? Can Ecuador get an equaliser? I mean, I think Ivory Coast's second half have probably come out and they've played better. But over the course of the game, I would say Ecuador deserved the draw. So it would be disappointing for them if they couldn't get a draw. The goalkeeper gone up. Well, the goalkeeper got up there, but I don't think it is. Caicedo's going to take the corner. He has put a couple of good balls in, so he can just do one more. Can they attack the ball? In he goes. It's a great ball in. It's a good header now. Great header, and it's going to be another corner to Ecuador. It's their final chance this to get a draw. In it goes. It's a great corner again. The goalkeeper's gone and punched it away, and Ahmed's on the counter, and he can clear. He can play in Diamonde. Diamonde's one-on-one with the defender, but the defender's done well, to be fair. And then he's done well to keep it in play, but Diamonde's got the ball, played it back now, and Ivory Coast are in no rush to go forward. They're just going to keep the ball now. They've got 1 minute to hang on. Ecuador trying to press. It's going to leave that to a goalkeeper who knocks it long. Caicedo picks it up. Caicedo, it's a great ball, Ecuador, and it's great defending. Absolute brilliant defending. I'm not sure it were, but it was just super. He's got his body in the way. It was superb defending. The ball's knocked into the corner now. That's what they're doing. Sunday League tactics stuff, Ivory Coast, just to hang on for the last few seconds. Here goes Diallo, and Diallo against away. He's gone down the left-hand side. He's cutting inside. Can they get a second? Diallo, he's beating in. He's gone to the edge of the box. It's a shot and it's way over. Again, lack of composure again from the Ivory Coast midfielder. Number 26 there. I'm not sure who that were. I think it was one of the substitutions. Ecuador knock it long. There's only if you're into the 98th minute now. Can't be a lot of time left. Ecuador, I don't know what they're doing. They've literally got seconds left and they're just. They need to get it forward. It's just their last chance. We've got left hand side. And Ecuador, I thought he's going to shoot, is he? He's not. He's played it. Ecuador have a chance and it's going out for a corner. Ecuador have one final corner. We're just about to go into the 99th minute as well. So I think if Ivory Coast concede here, they'll be gutted. But Caicedo, he needs to be quick though. He's taking his time, and we did see. I don't know what game it were. I did see where they were taking their time with the corner, and they ended up blowing. So you've got to be careful. Do you see? He's still not taking it. We are in the 99th minute. Here we go. It's a great ball, and again, I think it's a great defensive header, and that's it. Full time, is it? I think it's full time. there you go, full time. It looked like for a minute it was going to go to VAR for something, but it is now full time. Ivory Coast have won the game more than Ivory Coast. It's finished here. Ivory Coast 1, Ecuador 0. I'll just sum up the game and then I'll log off and get myself to bed. It's 2 o'clock in the morning here. Probably going to get in trouble for keeping people awake in the house, but it is what it is. So first half, it was topsy-turvy, let's say. Ecuador started the best, then Ivory Coast had a spell, then Ecuador ended the first half the best and on top, and they've hit the ball twice. They probably should have taken the lead with at least the second after they hit the bar. Again, lack of composure. Maybe nerves, I don't know. Obviously, they're at a World Cup, so it could have been nerves, I don't know. But lack of composure, that's why they've not scored. And into the second half, Ivory Coast have dominated for the first 15-20 minutes, and again, they've then hit the bar, but they couldn't score. This before I carry on. Does anyone else watching football try to remember if you've seen them play or in real life in the UK? I'm not sure what you're asking, so I'm not sure what you mean in the UK. Does anyone else watching football try to remember if you've seen them play in real life in the UK? Who do you mean, Sam? I'm not sure who you mean. So yeah, second half, Ivory Coast started the brightest. First 15-20 minutes, they hit the bar. They should have scored. Ecuador kind of got through that spell and they grew into the game, but they didn't create any chances at all. A couple of really good corners from Caicedo, but well defended. And then 90th minute, Singo, the makeshift centre half who moved back to right back, he has powered 50 yards down the right hand side. He's pulled the ball back to just the edge of the box, and Diallo has kind of hit the ball from 12 yards out, 15 yards out, and he's caressed into the bottom corner. It is a great finish from Madman, and it literally hit the side net just inside the post. Couldn't have hit it more perfectly. And let's get it stats quickly. 43% possession for Ivory Coast, 50 obviously 7 for Ecuador, 15 shots, 12 shots, 15 for Ivory Coast, 12 for Ecuador. Ivory Coast had the figure XG as well, so I think based on those stats, Ivory Coast probably shaded it. That puts Germany and Ivory Coast on 3 points each. Ivory Coast just need to beat Curacao, which I think they will do, and that's them through. Ecuador have got to get something from Germany, I think, if they want to try and go through. I think they really could have a point there, unfortunately. They've not got it. So, look, we've gone 2 o'clock in the morning, got 150 people watching, which is brilliant. Any players like Ahmed for the Simpson? Yeah. Yes, Sam, I actually do remember Ahmed at Rotherham. I don't remember him playing very well, but I do remember him at Rotherham. It's funny you asked the question actually, because I do think about this a lot. Like one of the players I wish I'd have seen, but Rotherham were never in the Championship the same season, was that Ruben Neves when he was at Wolves, but we never saw him. But yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if he started or not, Ahmed, but I definitely did see him at New York. I remember seeing him, and he flattered to see him. I didn't really notice him. The player who I really liked in that Sunderland side was Jack Clarke. I thought he was excellent every time I watched him, and I think Jack Clarke really should have done better in his career actually. So yeah, I do remember him too. I don't remember anyone else, but I will try and think about it actually for the next watch along. I'm not sure when my next watch along is, but yeah, just so before I go, we've got the schedule here. So Sweden, unfortunately, we've not got anyone to watch that, which is an hour's time. Spain versus Cape Verde, you've got a full house pretty much. You've got Tom hosting, Phil and Ben are on that. Belgium beats Egypt, you've got Luke at the minute who's on that on his own hosting. And then at 11 o'clock at night, you've got Phil, that's Saudi Arabia versus Uruguay. At the minute, we've got no one through run New Zealand. It's not a great game. Then France v Senegal, we've got Phil, Luke, Ben, and Tom. Iraq v Norway's Phil. I'm doing the Argentina game versus Algeria. No one frustrated at the minute. Portugal versus Congo. I'm doing that one with Tom and Ben. England v Croatia, you've got Luke, Phil, and I think Lee's going to do that. And Ghana v Panama, you've got myself at the minute. And that's it. So that's the schedule. And look, 150 people exactly watching us. I really do appreciate it. You watching us at this time as well. That's incredible, and it will mean that we'll keep doing it. I was, if I only got single digit views, I probably wouldn't have been. I wouldn't be doing this next time. But because we've got the views, I will continue to do this with the World Cup being on. So really appreciate your support. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As I said before, if you subscribe, you get notifications so you can watch from minute one. And as I said, we are doing pretty much 90% of the games. So thanks a lot. For those of you who are still awake, thank you. Enjoy your 4 hours sleep. And if you're at work tomorrow, good luck. But I'm not going to be. So I do pray for you. So everyone, cheers and night.